You know, this is kind of a video I never thought I would be making, so it's kind of bittersweet in a way. Hi and welcome to or back to my channel. Today I'm recording this video having gone one full year, that's full 12 months without any sugar. Now, I know what you might be thinking, why would you do that? Doesn't sound like a great idea, and I guess you're about to find out if it is a good idea or not. A few disclaimers before I start. The reason why I decided to go completely cold turkey off sugar, and I'll explain what I mean by no sugar in a moment and the rules that I had that went along with it. But the reason basically that I decided to go no sugar is that I had a really toxic and negatively impactful relationship with sugar. I loved sugary treats. I used to binge constantly. A lot of my diet would be sugary snacks throughout the day. I had a horrible relationship with having fun and needing to incorporate sugary treats in order for my brain to see, yes, I had a good day today. I ate this. And that's kind of what sparked this idea for me that maybe I should give it up just for a year and know that it was only for a year and see if I could retrain my brain to enjoy life without sugar. Now, it was really hard. I was hiking with my partner in Lamington National Park one weekend, and we were just joking about it, like, oh, you should quit sugar for a year and see what happens. And we were walking for a bit, and I thought, you know what, after we get back from this holiday, I think I'm gonna do it. And we kind of had this massive conversation around what the rules would be or what the allowances would be. Because what I quickly realized after giving up sugar is that sugar is in absolutely everything. You know, it would be basic things like going to cook spaghetti bolognese and the bolognese sauce would have 6 or 7 grams of sugar a serve. Is that okay? When a shortbread cream has half the amount of sugar in it, where was the line, and what was going to make most sense for my motive for doing this? So we quickly decided that it would be sugary foods that were considered treats or unhealthy foods. And what I mean by unhealthy is basically the focus was on refined sugars. So from September 1st, 2021 to September 1st, 2022, I did not touch a singular refined sugar treat. That meant off the table was things that I ate super often, like ice cream, TV snacks, shortbread cream biscuits, you know, just lots of little things, you know, birthday cake, eggnog at Christmas, just all these things that I used to just indulge in was off the table for me. And it kind of made it a lot easier at the time because I was also, you know, still in the fitness industry and trying to wrap my head around, you know, what I should be eating, you know, what I shouldn't be eating, and all that kind of stuff, and just, you know, wanting to treat my body better. But I still had this addiction to the treats and I couldn't find balance. It was a lot easier for my brain because every time in the past where I used to go to eat something sugary, I would go through this moral argument with myself on should I eat this, should I not eat this, and I always ended up eating it and I'm feeling horrible after. Whereas now that everything was off the table, there wasn't anything for me to decide on. It was just no thank you, no I'm good, no I'd rather pass, all that kind of stuff. That's why I decided to quit sugar. So the experience of quitting sugar for a year, what did I learn, what would I change, and would I do it again, basically? So the hardest part for me about quitting sugar was 2 aspects of it. There was 2 parts of the whole experience that I noticed. The first one was obviously the cravings. I got a lot of sugar cravings within the first couple months, but I am addicted to discipline. I love testing my discipline and testing my willpower. And I actually got really into Muscle Nation protein custard because it had, you know, 0.2 grams of sugar in it. It's a protein snack, and I still have that every single day. It ended up being my favorite thing, and I actually prefer that to most sugary treats now. But that's getting off topic. The cravings were pretty bad, but I got really good at controlling them, and I got really good at saying no. That in and of itself was its own, you know, mental struggle. It was really hard for me, but, you know, this was something that I had chosen to do, and it was no one else's problem that I was struggling with it. And most people around me were supportive of it, and most is a key word in that sentence. The hardest part was the second aspect of it, which was actually everyone else's reaction to me quitting sugar. most people took it as a personal attack when I would say I'm not eating sugar. For example, if I was offered a slice of birthday cake, I would say no, thank you. And inevitably the question would always be, oh, why not? And I would say, oh, I'm not eating refined sugar this year. And it was almost as if I'd offended them, or if I'd hit them, or said something horrible. It was hard for me because I couldn't understand why my choices in what I was eating was affecting everybody else, what it seemed to be so much more than it was affecting me. I got into, a few arguments. I won't say who, obviously, for privacy reasons, but I would get into arguments that would go along the lines of, just have a little bit, it's fine, like who cares, no one's gonna know, it's okay, it's just this once, and comments like that, of just people not really understanding the point of what I was doing and invalidating the journey that I was going on with my eating habits. And for the most part, I was able to acknowledge it as, them not being able to do what I was doing. And there may have been potentially some feelings of insecurity or jealousy or whatever it was, or even coming from a healthier place, which is how I feel now, is that sugar can be a part of a balanced diet, and that I was severely restricting myself by saying no to treats, which I agree with. And I think that sugar should be a part of a balanced diet, which is why I did this challenge, to almost hit the reset button on my diet and my eating habits so that I could respect sugar for what it was and eat other ways. I wanted to know that I don't have to eat sugar and learn how to eat without relying on processed sugar and simple carbohydrates. It taught me a lot about, cooking, about, what your body actually wants and what your brain wants, and, emotional eating and all that kind of stuff. I learned so much. And I, at this point, was only seeing really positive effects because I was becoming stronger. I was having results in the gym because I wasn't bloated all the time. My body wasn't retaining as much water because I wasn't eating the refined sugars and only eating, I guess you could call it cleaner. I don't really love using that term because it, can be triggering for some people. It's triggering for me a little bit to talk about. It's quite difficult, but it was just what I had to do. It's the journey that I had to go on. It's the awful position I had to put myself in. Trying to have those conversations with people about why I wasn't eating the sugar and why this was my choice and why they didn't have to worry about it was actually really difficult. Hi, it's Editing Elle. One thing I did forget to kind of touch on, which was also something else that I really experienced with other people's reaction to me not having sugar, was what happened when I would go out to eat. And there was this one situation where I'd had this massive conversation with the cashiers at a cafe about not wanting sugar, and they had this sugar-free chai latte powder that I really wanted to try. And we had this massive conversation about how important it was, and I was so excited to try the sugar-free chai latte because I love chai lattes and I hadn't had one in months, and it was super exciting. And long story short, they brought this drink out to me. I had a few sips, and it had been maybe 3 or 4 months since I'd quit, and I got the biggest headache. I felt so sick. My body felt lethargic. I felt like heavy. It was horrible, and I was like, this doesn't seem right. So I went over to the baristas and I was like, did you guys make a sugar-free chai latte for this table? And they were like, no, what are you talking about? And I looked at the packet and it was sitting unopened on the shelf. And I just remember getting really upset because it just felt like, and this happened multiple occasions kind of in a different way, it really felt like people weren't taking it seriously. Like if I said I had a peanut allergy, it would have been triple checked, communicated through multiple lines of communication, staff would have talked to each other. If I had diabetes, it would have been super important for me to not have sugar. So many reasons why this should have been taken a lot more seriously because it was something that I'd requested, and yet it just seemed to go under the radar because I'd told them that it was just something that I was doing. And so, yeah, that experience really frustrated me, and it popped into my head that I was editing, and I just wanted to chuck that in there. So peace out from Editing Elle. And then towards the end, it kind of got worse. It was about 2 or 3 weeks off when I was going to start eating sugar again, and they told me that I should just start eating it now. And it kind of bothered me because I'd just gone, what, 11 months and 2 weeks without it. And I was so close to the finish line and I'd worked so hard. And it really was sort of invalidating and saying, you know, well, you know, I'm going to achieve what I put my mind to. This is probably one of the hardest years of my life. I will finish it. And I did. So props off. So that was kind of the hardest thing that I kind of had to deal with when it came to sugar. Now it's been a couple of months since I've been eating sugar again, and I can honestly say my relationship with sugar has completely changed. I also recently discovered that I'm actually not allergic to all nuts, only peanuts. So that also opened up this whole other realm for me with, you know, almonds and, you know, hazelnuts and all these amazing sugary treats that I could now eat, like Nutella. I'd never had Nutella. And I found out that I could have nuts while I was doing no sugar, and I was always like, Nutella is gonna be the first thing that I eat. I'm so excited. And I'm happy to say now that I have a really healthy relationship with Nutella. And sugar is now a part of my, you know, everyday life. I can now eat things with sugar. For example, an acai bowl for me used to be so scary because I just knew how much sugar was in it, and it's advertised as healthy, but is it? And, you know, all that kind of stuff. But now I can think, you know, actually I really feel like an acai bowl, and I know that because my diet is so balanced, that's okay, and I'm allowed to have that acai bowl and I don't have to earn it, and it's totally okay because I'm looking after myself adequately now. And that is such a freeing feeling, and I just know that I don't think I would have gotten here as soon as I did if I hadn't taken that step to teach myself, you know, how to correctly fuel my body for my goals in the gym and in life, because it just taught me so much about my body and nutrition that I just don't think I would have learned if I hadn't have done this. I think a big thing for me with quitting sugar, which is kind of strange, is that I wouldn't wish it on anyone else. I don't recommend the experience to other people. I'm happy to talk about the benefits that it gave me, but if there's anything that I've learned over the last year is that a year is a really long time to give something up that's pretty important, you know, just in life. And the things that I missed the most wasn't even the binging, it was the social part of eating, you know, sharing a birthday cake or having a glass of eggnog with the family at Christmas, and just little things like that that I couldn't partake in for the year, and I really wanted to. But the flip side of the coin to that is that I still got to enjoy all of those times so much without the sugar. So it's kind of a double-edged sword when it comes to that. I think that everyone should give up something that they rely on for emotional support for some period of time, but it's so important to have an end date and know that it's not forever and that you're just doing this process, because it, you know, very quickly became for me something that, you know, it really did teeter into sort of disordered eating / eating disorder that I had to really process and deal with and come out the other side of. And I'm so grateful for it, but at the same time, it was really difficult. My foot's dead. Oh, my foot is actually numb. What the hell? When I started eating sugar again, I noticed an immediate change in the way that my body worked. I had more energy, but it felt different in a way. I noticed as well, because I had increased my carbs a lot, that my strength in the gym was skyrocketing, and I had so much more energy and strength and oomph, I guess you could call it. And that was really cool to see my progress just like get so much faster, so much quicker. It was really nice to see, and I was really grateful for it, and to know that I could, you know, I was starting to learn that I could enjoy these things in a balanced way, and that was really exciting for me. It's just such a long time, you know. I just think that, you know, 12 months is like way too long. Go for 3 and just go from there, you know. It's just, it's not sustainable. It isn't. And you end up resenting yourself and feeling like everyone else can do these things and it's fine for them, but why is it so hard for me? Anyway, that's how I felt. And it's just so comforting to me now, knowing that I can now do those things, and it's fine for me too. I didn't think I was gonna get emotional. It's still quite fresh. It's just going into November, so it's been 2 full months since I've been having sugar again. It feels like so much longer than that. Oh my God. I just learned so much. I just really met myself in a different way when I did this. I struggled a bit being in situations. There were a few situations where I had to eat white bread, which I wasn't eating because white bread has a lot of sugar in it. It was one of the foods that I specifically binged on a lot. I would eat the crust off the slice of bread, roll it into a dough ball and eat it like that, just plain. It was what I've done since I was younger, and I used to eat half a loaf like that. It was pretty bad, so that's why I put that on the no-go list. One of my best friends at the time made me this toad in the hole. It was 2 really thick slices of white bread, and we were all eating, and I just felt this pressure because I'd eaten before I'd gone over this. I didn't get over there to their house until maybe 9 p.m. and they made this meal for me that I didn't ask for, that I didn't want. They didn't check with me if I wanted to eat it, and myself and them and another friend was all present, and we all had one, and I felt like I had to eat it because they'd gone to this trouble of making me food, and I felt horrible saying no. I don't regret eating the bread. It just kind of revealed to me that some people just didn't get it. It was just kind of hurtful to come from someone I thought understood. And I got that a lot from a few people over the last year. But yeah, that's the journey. That's what it feels like and looks like to quit sugar for a whole year. I'd say, you know, take it slow, be kind to yourself, know that, you know, if you can set your mind to something, you really can do anything. You just have to find your why and stick to it. I wouldn't have been able to stick with it so well if it hadn't been for my partner, like, supporting me through the whole experience. If people, you know, said things to me regarding the sugar, he was always first to my defense and really backed me up with why I was doing this and why I needed to do it and why it was so important to me. So as long as I feel like you've got someone like that does get it and is there for you, you really can achieve anything you want to. Anyway, I hope this video wasn't too boring. I hope you found it interesting, or, you know, at least shed some light on a few things that I've gone through in my journey. It's greatly impacted the way I see training and nutrition, and, you know, I am totally open to conversation about it because everyone's journey with their food and their relationship with food is so different, and I just love hearing about other people's other people's journey with it, because everybody struggles with something, and mine just really happened to be sugar addiction. I don't know how to sign off YouTube videos when they've been so deep and vulnerable. I hope that this was helpful. I just wanted to share my experience because it really has just made up such a large part of my personality. That's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. I hope you have enjoyed your time here. I'm glad that we could just sit here, hang out, have a chat. You know, my mum has this beautiful back room that I've just broken into to come and film in because it's nice and quiet and so green outside, and it's just been kind of nice to just sit here and chat about the last year of my life. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.